Hello, boys and girls. We're going live now for our next 3 chapters in A Lion to Guard Us. Yesterday, when we left off, it was a very sad place. Amanda found out her mother had died. I wonder how that's going to affect the kids. I'm on page 20, and we're going to begin time and work. Mistress Trippit said, "It's a sad thing, but time and work will help you forget. Time and work, Amanda." "Yes, ma'am," Amanda said. She did her work. That helped her through the days, but at night she lay awake. She tried to think, and she asked herself, "What's to be done? What's to be done now?" One day she went out back to feed the chickens. Jimmy and Meg were at work in the garden, clearing off the dry weeds and sticks. Jimmy had been raking. He had left the rake in the path, and Amanda tripped over it. "Why don't you watch where you leave things?" she shouted. She caught hold of Jimmy and shook him. His mouth fell open. He looked hurt and surprised. She ran back into the house. She was almost crying as she bumped into Ellie in the hall. "I shook Jimmy," she said. "Whatever made me do it? I'm the one to look after him and Meg, and I—" "You do look after them," said Ellie. "No, I don't mend their clothes. I never talk to them anymore." Ellie said, "Don't be putting blame on yourself. Life is hard for you now. When you lose someone, it's like having to find your way again." Amanda grew quiet. It was true what Ellie had said. That night, in bed with Jimmy and Meg, she left the candle burning. She said, "Who wants a story?" "You said you didn't know any," said Jimmy. "I didn't, but now I do." "Is it about father?" he asked. "It's more about 2 sisters and their brother." "That's you and Maggie and I," he said. "And one of their sisters was a crosspatch," said Amanda. "That's you," said Jimmy. "She'd lost her way," said Amanda. "What?" "She'd lost her way, but she found it again, so she wasn't a crosspatch anymore." "Is that all the story?" he asked. "No. The brother and sisters lived in the city of London, in the country of England. And one day, do you know what they did?" "What?" he said. "They went away. They left the city of London and the country of England. They left it all far behind them." He sat up. "Where did they go?" "They got on a big ship and they sailed to America. They saw a town. That was Jamestown. They saw a man, and he came to meet them." "Father!" said Jimmy. "Father," said Meg. "When are we going?" asked Jimmy. "I don't know yet," said Amanda, "but we are going. We are." In the morning she asked Cook, "If it please you, may I go outside?" "No," said Cook. "Where?" "To the next street over." "What's on the next street over?" "It's where the Virginia Company is." "The Virginia Company? What may that be?" "It's the company that sends out ships to America." "And what's that to you?" "Jimmy and Meg and we're going," said Amanda. Cook gave a snort. "And I'm going to fly to the moon." "If it please you," said Amanda, "the house is on Philpot Lane. That's only a step away. I'll be back in no time at all." "No, you won't," said Cook, "because you're not going." All morning, Amanda worried. She swept and scrubbed. She mixed the bread and peeled the onions. Toward noon, Cook shouted in her ear, "You've let the water pail go empty again." Amanda took up the pail and ran with it. Outside the back door, she looked behind her. No one was watching. She set the pail beside a currant bush. She picked up her skirts and went flying down the alley. Chapter 5, The House on Philpot Lane. Amanda went straight to the big brick house on Philpot Lane. No one answered her knock. She tried the door and it opened. She went into a large room where men sat at tables. They were writing, and she could hear the scratch of pens on paper. She chose the man with the kindest face. "If it please you," she said, "can you tell me about the ships that sail to Virginia?" He kept on writing. It looked as if he were setting down figures and adding them up. "I was here once with my mother," she told them. We wanted to go to Virginia because my father is there. A man said to come back later." She thought he hadn't heard. She made ready to say it all again, but he had stopped writing. "Your father's name?" he asked. "James Freebold." He opened a book and ran his finger down the pages. "Yes, he's here." "We want to go on the next ship," she said. "There will be ships going next month," he said. "How many are you?" "3. "Your names?" "Jimmy and Meg, and I'm Amanda." "Is Meg your mother?" "No, sir, my mother is dead. Meg is my sister." "How old is your sister?" 5. "How old is Jimmy?" 8. "But you're only children. You can't go to the New World with no one to look after you." "I can look after us." "No, that won't do. We might find someone to look after you on the voyage, but that would take money." "I have money," she said. "How much?" "I don't know, but see here, little girl, this is a busy place, and I'm a busy man." He dipped his pen into the ink and went back to writing. "Please," she began, but he didn't speak to her or look at her again. She went home. The pail was still behind the currant bush. She took it to the pump and filled it. When she carried it into the kitchen, Cook asked, "What kept you?" Amanda set down the pail of water. "You went to that place, didn't you?" asked Cook. "Didn't you?" "Yes," said Amanda. "Wait till I tell Mistress Trippit." "I'm going to tell her myself." Amanda started upstairs. Cook gave a scream. "You can't go up the front stairs!" Amanda went on. She knocked at the door of Mistress Trippit's sitting room. "Who is it?" came Mistress Trippit's voice. "If it please you, ma'am." Mistress Trippit opened the door. Her wig was off. She looked angry. "What are you doing up here?" "I wanted to tell you. I went to the house where the Virginia Company is." "Well?" "There are ships going to the New World next month." "Well?" "Jimmy and Meg and we're going." Mistress Trippit's mouth was thin. "I thought you'd put that nonsense out of your head." "Oh, no, ma'am. We have to go where Father is." "Your father doesn't want you. He forgot about you long ago." "No," began Amanda. "Even if he did want you, you'd be a fool to go. Virginia is a terrible place, full of wild Indians and wild beasts. All those tales about the New World and how wonderful it is, they're lies, all lies." "But we have to go." "You have to do nothing of the kind. I've fed you and put clothes on your back. I've given you the best home you've ever had. Would you give up all this? Would you go starve in a strange land where you'll never come out alive?" "Father, what has your father done for you? Ask yourself that. Then ask yourself what I've done for you." And Mistress Trippit slammed the door. We thought she was nice yesterday, maybe. What are we thinking now? 30. Maybe she's just having a bad day. Maybe she'll lighten up. Let's see. Out the door, chapter 6. That evening, Amanda and Ellie met in the pantry. "I heard Mistress Trippit," said Ellie. "She doesn't want you to go." "But she knew we were going to the New World," said Amanda. "Mother told her that when we came here." "She thought you'd forget about it," said Ellie. "She wants to keep you here. You work hard, and you don't eat much. And Jimmy and Meg are coming on. She'll put them to work, too, and you'll all be working free." "Oh," said Amanda, "I forgot to ask about the money." Money? When Father went away, he sold our house. He gave the money to Mother, and she kept it in a purse. Mistress Trippit has it. How do you know? Mother had it on a string around her neck. That day she fell downstairs, Cook and I put her to bed. Mistress Trippit came in, and she took the purse. She said she was keeping it for us. You'd best forget about it. It's ours, and we need it, said Amanda. Jimmy and Meg and I, we need it to go on the ship. Well, you'd best take care how you ask her, said Ellie. She's already upset. You best wait a long time. We can't wait long. The ship sails next month. But Amanda waited a week. Then she went back upstairs. This time Mistress Trippit let her into the sitting room. Her oldest son, Randolph, was there. He was a roly-poly man with pale, fishy eyes. He didn't look at Amanda. I'll get my coat, Mother, and meet you downstairs, he said, and went out. Mistress Trippit was dressed for a party in cherry-colored silk. She smiled at herself in the mirror. I know why you're here, she said to Amanda. You came to say you're sorry. You came to say you're going to be a good girl. And if you are a good girl, I'll forget the foolish things you said. Please, ma'am. Well, said Mistress Trippit, I haven't much time. Please, ma'am, said Amanda, will you give me the money? Mistress Trippit turned from the mirror. What? The money you kept for us. What's that you're saying? The money? It was in the little purse around Mother's neck. Mistress Trippit's face had gone white. And who do you think paid for the doctor? Who do you think gave you everything you have? Who do you think kept a roof over your head? But I worked, ma'am, said Amanda. And Mother, too, as long as she could. And now you say I stole your money. I never said that, cried Amanda. But Mistress Trippit was past hearing. She picked up a book and threw it. It barely missed Amanda's head. Randolph came running. Mistress Trippit pointed at Amanda. Get her out of here! Get her out before I... Randolph seized Amanda and pushed her out of the room. She ran down into the kitchen. What have you done? Asked Cook. What did you say to her? Asked Ellie. I only asked for the money, said Amanda. Jimmy and Meg crept out from under the table. Amanda, said Jimmy, and he sounded scared. Randolph came down the stairs. He said to Cook, Mother's fainted away. Go help her. He said to Ellie, Run for the doctor. He saw Amanda. You little pig, you're the cause of all of it. Get out of this house and take those brats with you. Get out, and don't ever show your face here again. He reached for her. He tripped over Jimmy and fell to his knees. Amanda heard Ellie say, Oh, run! She caught hold of Jimmy and Meg, and they ran out the back door and into the night. Next chapter is Night People. I wonder if night people are nice. What do we think about Mistress Trippit now?